Listen up, because what I'm about to tell you is going to absolutely wreck the peace of mind of every single person who calls themselves an Eagles fan. Forget everything you thought you knew about the future of Philadelphia football. A massive, earth-shattering scenario is currently unfolding behind closed doors, and it involved a total overhaul of the most important position on the field. We're talking about a move that feels like pure betrayal to the face of this franchise, a decision that could spark the biggest quarterback controversy in the history of this city. Is the era of the current starter already nearing a tragic, abrupt end? You need to stick around until the very last second, because once you hear the specific plan they have in motion, you're going to be staring at your screen in complete disbelief. Before we dive in, smash that subscribe button if you want the fastest NFL updates on the planet. Let's be real for a second. Nobody saw this coming. The front office in Philadelphia has been making moves that have the entire league buzzing, but this specific rumor, it's a total disaster waiting to happen. For weeks, analysts have been hinting at a massive shift in how the team is looking at their roster construction, specifically concerning their signal caller. It's a move that feels like it's born out of panic, a complete gamble that could either set the team up for the next decade or burn their Super Bowl window to the ground in a single offseason. Here is the million-dollar question. Does the front office actually believe the current starter is the problem, or are they just looking for insurance policy because they don't trust the man they have under center? Drop a name in the comments below. Do you think the current starter is still the long-term answer, or is it finally time to move on? Let's see who really understands this team. The source of this chaos stems from a wild mock draft projection that has everyone in the league absolutely losing their minds. We are talking about the potential for the team to use a high-value first-round pick on a quarterback in the next draft. Think about how insane that sounds. You have a guy who has carried the team to the biggest stages in the sport, and now the whispers about replacing him are getting louder by the day. According to draft experts who are plugged into the league's inner circles, the organization is looking at a massive 6'5", 230-pound gunslinger who is turning heads across the college ranks. This prospect is a classic, old-school pocket passer. He has the kind of frame that NFL scouts drool over. He's tall, he's thick, and he has a rocket attached to his right shoulder. We're talking about someone who doesn't just throw the ball. He delivers it with a level of velocity that makes defensive backs nervous to jump the route. He's the kind of prototype player that coaches dream of developing over a 2-year runway. But why would the Eagles, a team that should be in full-on win-now mode, be looking to burn a premium pick on a developmental project? It makes absolutely no sense unless they have already mentally checked out on their current leader. Wait until you hear the history behind this kid, because the connection to some of the biggest legends in football history is actually going to blow your mind. The prospect in question is none other than Drake Lindsey, the standout signal caller coming out of the Minnesota program. After spending a year in the shadows, waiting for his moment, he stepped onto the field in 2025 and basically told the entire country that he was ready for the big time. He threw for over 2,200 yards and double-digit touchdowns, showcasing an accuracy that is incredibly rare for a guy with that much power in his arm. But the stats don't even tell the full story. If you watch his tape, you see a guy who thrives when the heat is turned up. He's standing tall in the pocket, taking hits, and still dropping dimes down the field. He plays with the kind of poise that you usually only see from veterans, not from a kid who is barely out of his teens. But here is where the betrayal narrative really takes hold. The logic behind this potential move is simple. If the current starter can't get it done, if there's even a hint of inconsistency in his game next season, the team is going to pull the trigger on a change. They aren't just looking for a backup. They're looking for the next franchise savior. They want to draft Lindsey, let him sit, learn, and grow, and then by 2028, have him ready to take over the keys to the kingdom. It is a cold, calculated, and brutal way to treat a guy who has given everything to the organization. But is this just noise? Is this just another off-season clickbait scenario designed to get us riled up while we wait for the season to start? You have to consider who this kid is. His family history in the sport is literally the stuff of legends. His grandfather, Jim Lindsey, was an absolute animal on the field, playing back in the day with the kind of guys who eventually became the owners and coaches that defined the NFL as we know it today. When you have that kind of pedigree, you aren't just a player, you're a football institution. The scouts are raving about him. They're comparing his style to the greats of the 90s, that pure, traditional, stand-in-the-pocket mentality that doesn't rely on gadget plays or trickery. He is a prototypical winner. And honestly, that is exactly what the front office in Philadelphia seems to be craving. They're tired of the uncertainty, and they want someone who can stand behind a massive offensive line and pick apart a defense play after play, year after year. But consider this. If they go through with this, it sends an absolute earthquake of a message to the locker room. You're telling your entire team that your leader is on a short leash. You're telling your fans that the current plan is failing. And you are putting an insane amount of pressure on a kid who hasn't even played a single down in the pros yet. It's a high-stakes gamble that could either make the Eagles the most feared team in the NFC or create a culture of instability that destroys their championship dreams from the inside out. And let's look at the track record. The team has been aggressive about hoarding quarterback talent for years. They have spent picks in almost every single draft recently to bring in young, hungry arms. They aren't satisfied with the status quo. They're always looking for the next upgrade. Whether it was the kid from North Dakota State they picked up just recently or the scouts traveling all over the country, they're obsessed with finding the next big thing. This isn't just a rumor. This is a strategy. We're going to be tracking the situation every single day. Because if they decide to pull the trigger on a prospect like Lindsay, the entire landscape of the NFC East will shift overnight.
It's caught at the 30 by Devontae Smith. It really dictates the defense.
Are whispering, and the fans are stuck in the middle of a massive internal war about what the future of this team should actually look like. Is this the beginning of the end for the current regime? Is there more to this story than just a mock draft? You need to keep your eyes locked on this, because once the first domino falls, there's absolutely no turning back. Stay tuned, because the drama is only just beginning.